Hi, this is Kelly from Essex Ham and welcome to Foundation Online, getting you started with amateur radio. Here's what we'll be looking at in this module.
Hello, my name's Pete and I'll be your guide for this module. This is a short video aimed at people who've taken our Foundation Online course, have hopefully just passed their foundation and are looking for some ideas. In recent weeks we've run a series of webinars aimed at helping newcomers to get started, and this video answers some of the common questions that come up on our webinars. In this video we'll look at getting your first radio and setting up your first antenna, getting on the air for the first time, some handy websites, and a very brief look at data modes and WebSDRs. Starting off with getting your call sign and your license. Hopefully once you've passed your exam you'll receive a certificate in the post from the RSGB. On there is your candidate number. What you'll need to do is go to the Ofcom website, the address is on the screen, create an account and apply for a new license. You'll need to input the RSGB candidate number, and once that's approved you can select your call sign. You have a choice. You can either try for the call sign of your choice or you can take the next call sign in the available block. If you've got a call sign in mind, we recommend having a look at the QRZcom website. This is like the phone book for radio amateurs and you can see if anyone's already got your call sign. This isn't infallible, but it's a good guide to find out if someone's already got your call sign. Occasionally Ofcom release a full list of the available call signs. They normally do this in response to a GDPR request. You can do a search online to find lists of available call signs. Otherwise you can see what's available when you apply for your license. Once you've selected a call sign, you can download a copy of your 3-page license. The actual license itself is the 3-page cover document and a further 21 pages of the terms and conditions that you can download as a PDF. One of our top questions is what to do for your first radio. It's a difficult one to answer, so let's give you a little bit of advice. First off, a lot of people start with handhelds. What you're looking for in a handheld is something that can receive 2 meters and 70 centimeters. The common radio that many amateurs get started with is the Baofeng UV5R. This has the advantage of being very common, very easy to get, and most importantly, very cheap. However, do bear in mind that these aren't actually great radios. For £30 or so they will get you started, but they're not the world's greatest of radios, and they do tend to suffer from being a little bit on the quiet side when you're transmitting. If you're on a budget or looking to dip your toe into amateur radio, the Baofengs are a good place to start. Otherwise consider a Yaesu handheld. These are more expensive, but they tend to be a little bit more robust and made to a higher quality. You may also want to look at a radio that supports digital voice. That could be DMR, or Fusion C4FM, or D-Star. Also worth bearing in mind with handhelds is the antenna is quite important. These are removable, so you can connect to a larger antenna, or to a mag mount for your car, or even to a rooftop antenna and extend the range of your handheld. The next step up from a handheld would be a base station. Pictured here are 2 generic VHF/UHF base stations. Base stations can also be mounted in cars, and for that reason they tend to be 12 volts. So you will need a power supply. Do factor that into your budget. Also you'll need a power supply that can cope with the current that your radios will use. Moving on now to HF base stations. There's a massive range you can choose from here. All sorts like portable low power units such as the Yaesu FT818, something called a shack in a box like the now obsolete FT857 that does HF as well as UHF and VHF, a software defined radio like the ICOM 7300, or a more traditional model like the Yaesu FT450D. Again, in general these will need a power supply as well for the 12 volts, so do factor that into your budget. There are plenty of reviews of HF base stations on the internet. This is just to give you a very brief guide. A brief look now at antennas for VHF and UHF. If you've got a handheld, obviously you've got the rubber duck style of antenna. Ideally though, you want something nice and high up, ideally something stuck on top of the roof. You'll quite often find the white stick antennas, which are collinears for VHF and UHF, are a very good choice. For the car, you'll want a 5/8 wave mag mount. And for a nice flexible antenna that you can build yourself, we recommend the Slim Jim. These can either be hung from a window or put up a telescopic pole. If you're interested in building a Slim Jim kit, take a look at our website where you'll find a link to a Slim Jim kit. As for HF, you've got quite a choice. On the screen now you can see some members of Essex Ham at a field day. Here you can see numerous antennas. In the middle there's a dipole antenna that looks like a V. You can also see a lot of antennas in the background that use fishing rods. This is a cheap and cheerful way of getting wire up into the air. With a vertical HF antenna, such as the ones pictured here, you'll also need to run out some radials to act as a ground plane. There's such a choice for setting up your HF antenna that we can't hope to cover them all in this video. We do recommend the book though, Stealth Antennas, and there's a link on our website. Also, you'll probably want to consider getting yourself either a balun, for balanced to unbalanced, or an unun. One of the simplest antennas that you can have is just a long wire antenna, and for that you'd use an unun. One end would connect to your rig via coax, and at the other end just a long wire. When I got started, all I could get away with was a long wire tacked down the garden fence. Doesn't sound ideal, but I could work the world on it. Again, far too many options to discuss in this video, but that's just to give you a few ideas on where to look. Next, we'll take a very quick look at 3 different types of QSOs. A simple VHF QSO, an HF QSO, and a repeater contact. Okay, I'm going to try for a call on 2 meters on the calling frequency of 145,500. CQ, 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 this is Mike 0, Papa Sierra X-Ray, M0PSX calling CQ.
Papa Sierra X-Ray, Mike 0, Lima, Mike Romeo for you.
M0 LMR from M0PSX, good afternoon, stand by a sec, I'll find a free frequency.
Stand by.
Okay, so I'm going to choose a frequency, I'm going to try 145,450, sounds free, but I'm going to ask if anyone's using that channel. M0PSX is the frequency in use, please. M0 LMR, M0PSX, 145,450.
145,450, see you there.
So I went back to Finder on 500, we're now back down to 450. M0 LMR, this is M0PSX, are you there?
Yeah, Mike 0, Papa Sierra X-Ray, Mike 0, Lima, Mike Romeo on frequency.
M0 LMR, M0PSX, good afternoon Dorothy. As you know, it's Pete at this end. I'm doing a little training video, so you're about to feature on a training video showing what a 2 meter QSO sounds like. So if you fancy saying hello to those that have recently passed their Foundation Online exam and are new amateurs, then you might be on the video forever. Back to you, M0 LMR, M0PSX.
Yeah, M0PSX, M0 LMR returning. Well, yes, congratulations to everyone who's recently passed their Foundation licence in amateur radio. Congratulations, and I hope you enjoy the hobby. There's so much to discover and enjoy, and yeah, just go with it and enjoy it, and congratulations again. Back to you, take M0PSX from myself, Dorothy, M0LMR.
M0PSX returning. Many thanks, Dorothy. That is absolutely perfect. You'll be on the video, and hopefully people will have seen what we did, which is call out on 145,500, find someone to talk to, and then change to a spare free frequency, in this case 145,450. Both of us move down, have our chat, and that is how a 2 meter QSO works. Many thanks. I'll send you 73. This is M0PSX, passing back to M0 LMR for any final.
M0PSX, M0LMR, returning to you for our final with you as well. Yes, all the best to you, good luck, and hope it goes well. Enjoy the rest of your evening. Same 73 from this end. M0LMR, now clearing the frequency.
Let's take a look at a typical HF QSO. For this, I happen to be on the 20 meter band. I find a free frequency, tune in using my ATU, So I have an SWR of 1 to 1, which is perfect. And I'll ask if the frequency is in use. This is M0 PSX. Is the frequency in use, please? CQ, CQ, CQ. This is Mike 0, Papa Sierra X-ray. Mike 0, Papa Sierra X-ray. M0 PSX, calling CQ on 20 metres and listening. CQ, CQ, CQ. This is Mike 0, Papa Sierra X-ray. Mexico 0, Papa Sierra X-ray. Mike 0, Papa Sierra X-ray, calling CQ and listening. You'll notice there I was giving quite long CQ calls, giving my call sign several times and also speaking phonetically. This is because on HF people have to tune into your signal and it can take a little while to do it. Also, you're not necessarily speaking to people whose first language is English, so you will need to repeat your call sign and the CQ several times. Okay, what we're going to try next is a QSO on a repeater. For this particular one, I'm going to use the Danbury repeater in Essex, which is called GB3DA. Now, one of the things here to note is you don't call CQ on a repeater, you just announce that you're listening through it and looking for a contact. So I'll try a contact now and see if there's anybody out there. This is Mike 0, Papa Sierra X-ray, listening through GB3DA.
Mike 0, Papa Sierra X-ray. This is Mike 0, Oscar November Hotel Portable.
M0 ONH, good afternoon to you from M0 PSX. You're portable, I wonder whereabouts you are there, Andrew. M0 ONH, M0 PSX.
M0 PSX, this is M0 ONH Portable. Yes, we've just arrived at Crow's Heath, which is by Hanningfield Reservoir in the county of Essex. And we're doing a 1 week camping and radio weekend. So the tent's just been set up and just got the radio plugged in and heard you calling on the repeater. So I'll come back to you. M0 PSX, this is M0 ONH Portable.
M0 ONH Portable, M0 PSX, excellent. We're looking out the window here in the warm. It looks a bit blowy, but the skies are fairly clear. So hope you have a good week of camping and radio. How's my signal sounding to you, by the way? M0 ONH, M0 PSX.
M0 PSX, M0 ONH Portable. Yeah, it's sounding very clear to me here. I'm using my Yosu 857D, 5 watts, into a collinear up a 10 metre pole. So nice and clear into the repeater this afternoon signal from you. Okay, Pete, thanks for the good wishes. I'll pass it back to you for a final M0 PSX. This is M0 ONH Portable.
M0 PSX returning, excellent. Okay, good news. 5 watts, doing well. Also on an 857 at this end. You're sounding good, and I wish you all the best for a sunny week of camping. And fingers crossed for some decent weather for you. 73 for now, take care and enjoy. All the best, M0 ONH, M0 PSX. Cheers.
Yes, thanks very much indeed. Always nice to talk to you and talk to you again soon. M0 ONH going clear. Bye-bye.
Sticking with repeaters for a moment, as you'll hopefully remember from your Foundation online course, to get a repeater working, you need to set the offset. You transmit on one frequency and receive on another. There's also the CTCSS tone. This is required to open the repeater. There's a list of all the UK repeaters on the ukrepeater.net website. There are also apps available for smartphones and tablets. Pictured on the screen here is a radio showing that it's set to a repeater, in this case the Danbury repeater in Essex. And also ENC, which shows that the CTCSS tone is encoded. You can save yourself a lot of hassle by programming in repeaters using something called Chirp. This is a piece of free software that you can use to configure your radio. You can either manually enter the repeater settings, or get hold of a CSV file that someone's already done for you. If you're looking to get a Baofeng UV5R, there's a link on the screen to one of our members that can help supply these pre-programmed with the UK repeaters. And on the subject of repeaters, there are things called nets, which are on-air get-togethers. Essex Ham runs a regular one of these every Monday at 8 o'clock. Don't worry if you're not in range of the repeater in Essex, you can listen online. This will give you a good feel for how nets work. The address: www.essexham.net. A look at some handy websites now, the first one being QRZcom. Every radio amateur is encouraged to have an entry on QRZcom. This makes it very, very easy for people to look you up by your call sign and get a feel for your name and whereabouts you live. We'd strongly encourage every amateur to get themselves an entry on QRZ.com. Next, a look at logging. This isn't mandatory, but many people do keep a log of who they've spoken to. You have a choice of logging using paper in a paper logbook, logging online, or logging using software. On the screen are links to logging software. My personal favourite is Log4OM, which is free. A very brief look now at data modes. At the time of recording, the favourite data mode is FT8, and for that you use software called WSJTX. On the screen here you can see me in contact with a station in Denmark. For this particular contact I was on the 20 metre band, on a frequency of 14.074 MHz. The waterfall you can see here shows that there's numerous different contacts going on all on the same frequency. The way this works is by sending your transmission for 15 seconds. Then your radio switches to receive for 15 seconds to see if you were heard. You then transmit for another 15 seconds. It takes a bit of getting used to, and we have a more detailed video on our website. The advantage of data modes, especially at foundation, is you can get around the world on very low power with only a basic antenna, something that you might struggle to do using voice. The great thing about data modes, including FT8, is that you can see how far your signal's travelled. And it's worth getting used to the website pskreporter.info. From there, you can see a map of where your signal's reached. For this video I put out a few test calls, and you can see here my signals got quite a way around Europe. From the PSK Reporter website, you can look at a map view and see where your signal's reached. Even if you're not able to transmit, you can change one of the pull downs to see what activity is leaving the UK. You'd select on all bands, show signals, sent by, the country of, and a UK call sign, such as M0PSX. This will show you where the signals are going from the UK at the moment, giving you a feel for how propagation is working on the different bands. Another handy website to get used to is WebSDR. The web address is websdr.org, and on that site you'll find a list of available websites. One of the common ones is at Hack Green, which is a secret nuclear bunker in the UK. The beauty of WebSDRs is you can use your internet connection to control them. You can connect to a WebSDR via the websdr.org website and tune it into the frequency of your choice. It's a handy way of testing out your own audio. You can tune to a frequency that your radio's tuned to, put out a call and hear how it sounds from a distant station. It's also a great way of listening to HF before the expense of buying your first transceiver. A quick mention now for the RSGB, the Radio Society of Great Britain. The RSGB dealt with your amateur radio exam and also hopefully sent you your pass certificate. You can join the RSGB for an annual fee, collected by direct debit. For RSGB membership, you get a copy of RADCOM, a monthly magazine. There's also an online version called RADCOM Basics, great for beginners. By being a member of the RSGB, you can also get book discounts, take part in contests and collect awards, get free entry to Bletchley Park, get planning and EMC advice, and also use the QSL Bureau if you're into sending postcards to confirm receipt of signals. If you are looking to join the RSGB, there are some special offers available, including one that often helps us. For details of any special offers that we know about at the moment, go to the website essexham.uk/RSGB. And finally for this video, a mention of us, Essex Ham. You can join Essex Ham for free. On our website you'll find loads of stuff, including reviews, features, getting started guides and videos. For newcomers we also have a discussion forum, a Facebook group and an email group using groups.io. Of course as well we have the Monday Night Net. As membership's free, please do sign up for latest news updates and to get access to everything on our website. There you go, that's our just past What's Next video. Hopefully that was of use. We're planning to release more videos in the coming weeks. To stay up to date with future video releases, sign up to our free newsletter at hamtrain.co.uk. Thanks for watching.
This feature was brought to you by Essex Ham.